we want to focus on and celebrate, the couple years of Mark's time doing what he's been doing, and we'll talk about his highlights and whatnot. But I guess we have to ask about COVID, and just for a couple reasons. For you, Kevin, what the PGA of Canada has had to do when it comes to your schedule, what meetings. You talked about the AGM via Zoom and whatnot, and Mark, obviously, just with his club and some of his travel. But I guess, first of all, for you, Kevin, I guess, how has the season looked differently for the PGA of Canada?
Yeah, it's amazing how, I'm going to say it was probably around May the 10th, May the 11th, in Ontario anyways, the teachers said that after March break, they were going to take a 2-week hiatus and the kids were going to be at home. So talking to our partners, like the Golf Canadas or the CSTMs, like, okay, what are we doing with our office? So Thursday at 4:01, it was like, okay, the teachers were closing for 3 weeks. So we had a powwow. We're like, okay, if you have kids, we're going to do a little work from home program. We're going to have this situation. So I thought by, 9 a.m. on Friday, I thought we had it all figured out, this COVID thing. We had it figured out. Well, by Saturday, it was over. Mark and I had spoken. I spoke with Matt Allen, who's our sort of Chief Innovation Officer. I talked with Golf Canada and was like, as of Monday when we came in, we had a meeting and we sent everyone home. And it was one of those things where that's how quickly it changed. And then now, from Thursday at 4:01, I thought we had it under control. Friday, we implemented it. And by Saturday, it was the rules of engagement had changed. So then starting that week, when speaking with, the Golf Canada's NAGA, I'll just call it NAGA, right? We were putting a game plan together. Okay, how are we going to communicate this? How does it look? And remember, on really March the 16th, it didn't look like golf courses would be closed till July, say. Mm-hmm. And then as April came, a lot of meetings. Saskatchewan really was the first one to announce back in April that we would open on May 15th. And here we were all saying, wow, I wish we were Saskatchewan, right? And I think really, and it's time.
We were the envy of the nation there for a day or so.
Exactly. Yeah. And then all of a sudden it was like New Brunswick came out and said, we're open today.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like, okay. And then it was Alberta came out and said, we are open in 2 days. And Manitoba said, we're open in 4 days. So all of a sudden everything started coming down. And, Ontario, I think, opened on the 16th after Saskatchewan opened the 15th, and then Quebec on the 20th. So you can see those 2 months, just the wave we were riding. And the one thing is when it first came out and there was sort of a little talk about, hey, courses should not open. Courses should open. Well, Mark and I got on the call again because there was some, organizations that were putting stakes in the ground. We said, okay, what are we doing for our members? And I remember, Mark, I said this on a call the other day, and Mark said, you know what, this is, and this is about Mark and about, that's why we're here, is like, he says, man, like, he takes it so seriously. Everything we're doing for our members' livelihoods. Like, if we were to say close courses for a year, what does that mean? Mm-hmm. Or, hey, we should open courses on March the 17th. Who cares about this COVID? Then you're affecting their lives also. So, there's that fine balance between staying safe. And one thing I will say about Mark and the PGA of Canada, since day one, since ground zero, let's call it, we've always said, listen to the experts. We've never gone out on the limb and said, hey, Mark and I or Mark and the board are the health experts. You can golf tomorrow. Or we're the health experts. You can open July 15th. We never said that. So kudos to the health organizations provincially, of course, and locally, that were sort of guiding the way and allowing us to show them that, golf was really a safe way to play. We didn't lobby to say open today, but we said, if we could be one of the first businesses, and that's kind of, that kind of sums up our last 2 months sort of there.
Yeah, and I mean, there's so many benefits, and yeah, it's a fine line, as you mentioned, because you don't want to push it and you want to keep everybody safe. And a lot of people were saying, well, you shouldn't be able to golf because it's a, for lack of a better term, it's a rich man's sport and whatnot. But it's you can use this as a benefit when not promoting it, but it is safe. It's a way to get out. It's healthy, and the opening weekend, and you could pertain to this, Mark. I'm sure Harbor was jam packed on the long weekend of May.
It was indeed. And, going back to previous to the opening, we had staff meeting after staff meeting, and what are we going to do? How are we going to do it? what signs should we have, directions, tape markings, blah, blah, the whole thing. And kudos to our staff. They did a fantastic job, but it's still, we kept it at 20 minutes. We didn't go to 12 minutes, but we kept it at 20 so that we could take that time to, if there is an issue, we could work it out. And we didn't come across too many. What we found was people were so anxious to get going that they were like coming at us left, right, and center. Finally, we went out there and said, okay, hold on a sec. Step back, step back from the window.
Yeah.
And so the staff that we had partaking in that, they did a fantastic job, and keeping it at 20 minutes allowed us to figure out what's working, what's not, and to be able to change it. And then come the next day, it was like smooth as anything. And then the Sunday was even better. And of course, Monday morning, it's even better. And, everybody heads home Monday afternoon. So that keeping it at 20 minutes was a good call for us.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it's interesting. I played 3 different courses over the May long weekend, and yeah, there's no backlog, and the 12 minutes works great. But would courses, and maybe both of you could speak on this, but would courses think about leaving it at 12? Do you think, or once maybe it opens up more, would it be back to the 9 or whatnot?
Well, we're generally at 10, so the 12-minute was not a big deal for us.
Yeah.
But going from 20 minutes to 12 minutes was a big deal, because now do you start putting people in there and moving the guy that booked a tee time back further. And now you have to contact them and say, hey, your 10:20 tee time is now 10:42 or whatever. It's not much difference, and he's not going to be late. But he might not have got a speeding ticket on the way, but who knows, But I think that we have found anyways, and I'm not going to say we're one of the busiest courses, but keeping it at 10 minutes allows us great opportunity to look after the customer and even just go a little bit beyond. If it's, get them out as quickly as you can at 8 minutes, 7 minutes, or 9 minute, 8 minute intervals, doesn't matter. We're just taking that extra couple of minutes or minute to ensure that our customer is looked after as best that we can.
Yeah, and as safely as you can, for sure.
And that's a good point, because, Mark, it's funny you said, because across Canada, we've heard about, I think New Brunswick was starting with 20 minutes, then they didn't say anything. Then a lot of the provinces, didn't mandate 12 or 10 or 7 or 20. And like you just said, Mark, I've heard so many operators say that they have, and I'm talking like small munis that you're thinking they're going to push through everyone. They're usually like 8 and 9 or 8 and 9, and they've gone to 12. They've gone to 15. I know one course that went to 15 that used to be 8, only because, like Mark said, we want to get this right. If we were 8, and someone said, hey, that pull cart just came in. I'm on the tee in 30 seconds. Can I have that pull cart? Wait a second. Like with the 12s or the 15 or even the 10, you can take care of your customers in this time. And that's amazing that I found that people have stretched out their tee times, even though they haven't been asked to.
Yeah. What we did too for our members is we gave them their own, the people that paid for their yearly cart membership, we gave them a specific cart. So we'll say, Mr. Jones, you get cart number 10. That is your cart. You get it from the tournament building. You plug it back in. You clean it. You sanitize it, disinfect it. You do whatever. It's yours until things change. And so when that happened, we have 80 carts in the fleet, and we have 40 of our members are taking carts. We've just got rid of 40 carts that we didn't have to look after, and which was a godsend, really. They look after them. They drive up to the tournament building. They get their cart. Their clubs are right there. They put their clubs on. They drive to the window. Can I go now? Oh, you got 2 minutes. Okay. And they just chill right there, talk to them, and okay, you can go. And away they go. Yeah. So when they come back in, they go back to the tournament building.
Yeah.
So we don't see them at all.
Yeah. Well, we brag, like again, it's that fine line where how do we promote this, but do it cautiously and not step on any toes. But again, this is a sport we love, and it's a sport where you keep track of your own score.
Yeah.
So everyone should be pretty courteous out there when it comes to the social distancing and the guidelines and whatnot.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. And our members are promoting the safety of the game. So, I mean, when they're out there first, and we also did that, we allowed the first 2 hours of the day for our members. They are the ones out there that are teaching the other people that are out there. So overall, it's been great.
What did you guys do for the pins?
Well, we put in the pool little thing there, and which is working great. I played my first round Friday, I think it was, or Saturday, and it was. I mean, you didn't notice, really. The ball still goes in the hole.
Yeah.
Doesn't touch the cup. Doesn't touch the pin. You can pick the ball out without touching the pin, without touching the cup. It worked fantastic.
You know, the great thing, Clark, to go back to taking up what you said, the amazing thing about the golf industry is, like, let's say before Saskatchewan opened, let's say before Nova Scotia opened, we were talking amongst ourselves. I'm talking like NAGA again, be it the Greenskeepers, be it the CSCM, Golf Canada, NGCOA. We were talking to the people in BC. We were talking to the people in, South Carolina. We were talking, well, Mark and I have good friends across the world. So we were talking to the people in South Africa. And the great thing is, before Saskatchewan opened, before, Alberta opened, we had best practices. Not something that we really invented, I think the first one I'll give kudos to was sort of the NGCOA park and play out of the States. So that kind of, but then we added to it. So like Mark says, when he came up with his, where are we going to put signs, where, we knew the 6 foot distance, where are we going to put the tape? These are things that people had already tried. So the thing with the golf business was, and that's, I believe, the governments also were speaking, is that we had a plan. So like Saskatchewan, when they came out with their list, it's amazing. That list probably came from collaboration with the golf business or with other associations. So when Quebec was the last, and they were excellent too, they had a whole list of protocols. So golf was, ready to open, and I think ready to open in a safe way, not a haphazard way. We had did months and months, like Mark said, he had meeting after meeting after meeting with staff. And then all of a sudden, you open the doors, maybe not 100% ready, but at least you're ready.
Yeah. You're as ready as you're going to be.
Yeah.
When you open up the door.
Yeah.
Right. So after that, it's a learning experience, how you can tweak what you put into place.
Well, enough about COVID and operations. The reason why we're chatting today is Mark Patterson's 2 years as president of the PGA of Canada. It's an awesome honor, and from Golf Saskatchewan, we're ecstatic that one of our guys was able to lead the organization for a couple of years. Kevin, just your thoughts on Mark's couple of years, leading your organization.
Is this where we should get off now?
No. The great thing is, I always say, Clark, I have to be nice because he's still got 10 days. He can still fire me, right? So I got to be good for 10 days. But no, seriously. And I've said this, I was at the PGA of Saskatchewan AGM. We were online the other day with our foundation. I've said this so many times. I mean, I've been in the golf business, like 40 years, golf pro, say 35 years. Mark and I met actually when we were assistants in Ontario, like 30 years ago, over 30 years ago. And of course, when he came out west, we saw each other a couple of times because being on the board and stuff. But I can honestly say that, and I've said this, and he doesn't let me say this, Mark will go down as one of the best presidents in our history. And I've been involved in the golf business all my life. I've been on the board for 10 years. I've been on the PGA of Ontario board. I mean, we've all been involved in this because all I know is, and we were probably on the board together 8 years, say. So I know how he works even before I've been in this position. I've been in this position about, 2.5 years now, and Mark's been president 2 of those years. Every decision he makes, every motion he makes, every move he makes, it's about our member. There's no self-gain. There's no gain for the province of Saskatchewan. There's no gain for his inner circle, his friends. It's all about the members, and not just the members, close to him, the members from Newfoundland right to Victoria. That's one thing I admire, is that anytime we've had to discuss anything tough, anything we've gone through, recessions, depressions, COVID, whatever, it's always been what is best for the member. And that's the mantra, right? So it's amazing to see, amazing to watch. We've become great friends. Even though we were friends, 30 years ago, we really did know each other. But the last couple of years, we've become great friends. And it's nice. I think the board sees this leadership. I think we've got always had a strong board, thank goodness. I think we can look back, Mark, and say, we had Connie, we had Steve Wood, we had Shuby. Just the presence we've had even before, Mark, very strong.
Yeah, there's been, even the board. I mean, all boards have been fantastic. I appreciate the kudos, Kev, but, in every, I don't mean to cut you off because you're saying nice things about me, but
that's all I had. That's all I had.
But I guess my thing was, it doesn't matter if it is a tough decision. It's always been about our members, and you indicated to that. It's always the first thought that comes to my mind. It's not, we're going to save money here. Oh, yippee. If we're going to save money, what's that do to our members? Are we taking services away from our membership? And if that's the case, hold on a sec. Let's look at this, right? And it's always, I've been in the industry for the same time frame as you, Kevin, and on the board now for, I was thinking this morning, I think it's been 10 years going through all the presidents that you had mentioned, but it's always been about our membership.
Yeah.
And how is it going to affect them? And I didn't want anything to ever take away from our membership. And we might have, but we brought back something stronger that made it so much better for the membership. And I think of the MAP program that we have, Member Assistance Program. We did at one time take it out, but we found another program that offered the same service for less money. And even more services in that, I guess, because there was some other things that we had talked about and that we wanted to see. So better services, more services, less money. That's looking after the member. But if it's just taking out the service, that because of cost, that's not looking after the member. So, over the course of my term and the course of my time on the board, I've always had that, the member in the back of my mind.
Yeah.
How did you balance everything over 2 years? Because I know, running Harbor, I know you've got other businesses in the beautiful community of Elbow. There was some, it can't be easy, but I think you have a pretty good significant other, don't you?
Yes, and that was the first thing that I was going to say. Yeah, for sure. Carol has been a rock for me, has looked after the businesses that we have while I'm away. The facility here, really, I talked to them before. They're new owners, so I had talked to them before and indicated to them that this is a potential, this could happen, and the time frame that I would be away. And they were so supportive. They were 100% behind me. And I always thought how hard it must be for somebody that is writing a check and not seeing the person that they're writing it to. Yet the check is in the air like this, and I go running by because I'm going from one meeting to another meeting somewhere, and I grab the check, and it's like, so where are you off to now? And I don't even have time to tell them where I'm going. But the staff here as well, they knew what it meant to me. And the whole town is so supportive of it. I've been working the front there for the last few days, 10-hour days, and everybody's coming up and saying, I'm so sorry about your dinner and being canceled and that. And it's like, that means that, and it's people that you didn't expect that from. So everybody is in this town so supportive of myself and the facility itself as well has been. I mean, couldn't ask for anything better.
I know Kevin mentioned there was no personal gain for you. This is all about the members and doing something for you. But and I know when you got the presidency, we talked and I did an interview and wrote a story. But the feedback for just kind of putting Elbow on the map it's a side factor and a real nice benefit thing, because a lot of people, for you, it's probably like, Elbow, Saskatchewan, never heard of it.
Yeah, I've had to say where I'm from a couple of times. Yeah, for people to get it. You know, when I guess when I started into becoming on the national board, you had to start at the provincial board. And I over my years, and I'm going to say it's going to be 30 plus years when I'm done, it was always, I wanted to give back to the association that had given me a living for 30 years. And so how can I do that? Well, I can put my hand up. And so I put my hand up and got on the provincial board and helped out there, and then eventually led to the presidency there. And then the national came open and I put my hand up again. And that's where, because I wanted to give something back. And whether it was my time, which, I mean, we don't get paid for this position. It's all volunteer. We do the best that we can under the circumstances that we have. And again, I just wanted to put my hand up and give something back to the association, and this is where it's led. So if I can do it, everybody else can do it. And I think that I've always said that everybody in our association, every single member should have the opportunity to serve on a national board or a provincial board, because they can really get the inner workings, feelings for the inner workings and how everything runs. And I think they would have a better understanding of it.
For sure. Lastly, just, highlights over the last couple of years, and maybe you can talk to this, Kevin, first, just your last couple of years, and I guess just kind of being new to the position for you as well. Yeah. But highlights working with Mark over the last couple of years, and maybe it was, a trip to the Masters or whatever, and maybe there was a little bit of fun.
Yeah. You know what, one of the highlights, and I'm so glad you brought this up, Clark, because one of the highlights was getting to know Carol too a lot more. And I mean that, like, May 21st, last Thursday, there was supposed to be the dinner in Elbow, right? And I'm telling you, Mark will tell you, no one was more excited than me coming. So what we did was I sort of put under the concept that Matt and I, our chief innovation officers, want to have a little call with Mark and Carol. So we had Carol involved also. And so we got on, there's probably 12 or 13 or 14 of us on the call, because the officers got the staff got on. It was just kind of like a celebration of Mark, right? And I thought that Carol was one of the highlights. I mean that sincerely. She would come once in a while, maybe out west or something, or out east with us, and you never saw her, but if you asked her for something, she was there. Absolutely. She always cooking dinner for us or doing something, right? But I think the highlights was just the travel. It didn't matter that it was the Masters. I mean, a lot of probably our best times were like at the PGA of America AGM, where it's kind of all work. I mean, it's like, you're at a meeting at 8 a.m. and you're at a dinner. I mean, no one's going to complain about a dinner, but you're at dinner until 10 at night. But it was just because we got to hang out, we got to know each other, we got to meet people. Like, the highlight, I think, for us too is, like we said, we have great friends who run the PGAs of Great Britain, Ireland, of the PGA of Europe, which are now the CPG, the PGAs of South Africa, Australia, and that's, I think, the thing is the camaraderie that we had, but also the people that we met together, because we kind of started the same time in these roles, and just the collaboration really across the country too. How I think under Mark's tenure, I believe no one can say that, and I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but the association of togetherness is stronger than I think it's ever been. Not to say it was bad, but I think it's just strengthened between all of the zones across Canada and all the associations within NAG. I just think that the last couple of years, you've seen an improvement in just our collaboration, I'd say.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think when I became on the national board and you, Kev, came into the picture, I was involved in that hiring process. And what I saw in yourself was the passion that I have to make our members better, stronger, better educated, recognize you have got to be, and this is just a side note, you've got to be the most recognizable person in the golf world. And it is not just yourself going to these events with myself or whatever. You're going there for a purpose, as we both do, and it is meeting after meeting, but you fit in other meetings just as somebody is walking by, you go, hey, I want to talk to you for a minute, right? And now there's another meeting that's been set up. A lot of people would not do that, would not go out of their way to set up another meeting. But you are the guy that, I mean, you're in the limelight all the time. For me, when I get kicked to the curb, I'll go away, I'll get on my boat and go sailing or do whatever. But you are one of the strongest people in our association or in our industry for our association. And kudos to you. I love you, man. You have got to be, I am so proud to be working with you.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry that it's coming to an end.
Yeah.
It would have been great if it was never ending, but you know, all good things have to come to an end, you know. And I always, you talk about a story about when we were overseas and we had to go to dinners and the luggage thing, it was supposed to go here, it ended up here, we didn't get it. We had functions, we're thinking, okay, we gotta get socks and, you know, that type of thing. And where are we gonna go? So we got all this stuff and then we had functions we had to go to. We got there on a Monday, I think it was, and we were leaving on Thursday night to come back. So it was going to Europe. And our suitcase showed up on Thursday.
Yeah.
So we had enough time to take out our shirt and jacket and go to a function and then pack up and go back home. that was that was a lot of fun.
That's like,
you guys are going to be able to joke about this stuff for years.
Oh yeah.
and
Yeah.
that what he talked about, like it would be an hour sitcom. Like
Yeah.
there is 49 things that went wrong funnily.
Yeah.
And it's funny, we got through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but Thursday night was the RNA dinner. And you cannot go to the RNA dinner in a kiss me I'm cute t-shirt, you know, or something, right?
Yeah. It was funny. Everybody's looking at you up and down, you know, and everything's wrinkled, and it's like you just roll out of bed or what?
That was good.
It was funny.
Yeah.
And then my luggage was lost coming home too.
Oh. His luggage stories are Seinfeld up. So
Yeah. It's good stuff.
That is great
Yeah,
stuff.
and it'll be memories. I have it etched in my mind forever.
Yeah.
And
I think
Those are things you never planned for when you took on the position.
right.
No. And you know, when I took on the position, I don't think you can plan for anything. You have to be as best prepared for everything. But you know, such as the pandemic now, how it changes daily. At the beginning, it might even still be changing daily, but you know, for the golf industry to go, you know, for us anyways in Saskatchewan being May 15th to all of a sudden people are opening up left and right, and then going a few minutes or a few days before going from 20 minutes to 12 minutes, it's like how do you keep up with all this stuff? But again, you just do the best that you can, and we'll get through it.
For sure, we will. We'll do it together. From Golf Saskatchewan, I know if Brian was with us today, he would, obviously congratulate you and everything you've done for golf in our province and across the nation. We're happy to have you close to home. We were there a couple of years ago for our ladies, and here's hoping we can get back to Elbow, and here's hoping Kevin can get down there with his colleagues at some point too.
Yeah, I sure hope that they can make it. The whole town will come together again. Put out the best show, the warmest hospitality, and we'll look after them. They've looked after me for 10 years. So it's my opportunity, my chance to honor them.
And there's a couple holes there where you feel like you're not even in Saskatchewan. Our little landlocked province here, Elbow's got some of the best views.
Yeah. And Clark, let you know before we go that I know that the dinner was supposed to be Thursday, May 21st, celebration of Mark's tenure, and we absolutely are coming to Elbow though. Be it September, October. Once this we've absolutely said we're gonna have that dinner come heck or high water, and we're gonna be in Elbow. So can't wait.
Great. You won't be disappointed.
No.
Yeah. They got a great staff, a beautiful facility, and eating a dinner on that deck is second to none.
Yeah, that's for sure.
But no, again, thanks guys. This is great. I'm looking forward to putting something together here, and thanks for the hour this morning. We appreciate it.
Great, Clark. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
For us? I will. I'll talk with him in 20 minutes, so I'll let him know how it went. And it was his idea, but it was great to, I've never even met you, Kevin, but it's great to see your face and chat with you, and obviously Mark will see you soon.
That was fun.
Yeah. Well, Clark, thank you very much. I appreciate the accolades, and Kev, when you come out, you do have a place to stay.
I know. Yeah. Can't wait.
And Clark, yeah, for sure. Please stop by and see us.